I'm finally back with some more anime reviews. Well, I wanted to do this for a while, but well, I'm gonna put Moonlit Fantasy on hold. I did say in the previous episode that I will boastfully review Moonlit Fantasy in this video, but I'm gonna put that on hold. Instead, I'm gonna talk about an anime that was released last year in April, I believe. Well, I do have the info about it, but we're gonna talk about Liar Lair, which is an anime that released last year, and I'm gonna go through episodes, try to give as minimum spoiler as possible, and talk about what I like, what I disliked, and whether you guys should watch it or not. Anyways, what's up everybody, it's your boy Mosky again, and I'm back with another anime review. So I was totally wrong about it being in April, because Live Air actually premiered on July 8th, 2023, so yeah, I was totally wrong there. Anyway, and the author of the original light novel was Haruki Kyo, I guess that's how it worked. The anime was produced, adapted by Geek Toys, who are known for Plunderer and Data Bullet, out of which I haven't watched Data Bullet, I only watched Plunderer. Well, somewhat of Plunderer, you could say. Data Bullet, on the other hand, the reason I didn't watch it because I stopped watching Data Live in forever ago. Like, I watched season 2 of Data Live and I was like, yeah, that's it. I don't want to watch more. Anyways, yeah, so this is the same studio that created both of those series. What's the plot of the anime? Well, the plot of the anime is it's set in an elite academy where students use a system games to determine their social standing. The protagonist is Hiroto Shinohara, who unexpectedly rises to top of the high school hierarchy through deceit. So he must navigate the competitive and deceitful environment while hiding his true capabilities and intentions. I'll get into it as we go through. So we're going to start through each and every episode and I'm going to talk about it. There will be spoilers, but I'll try to keep it as minimum as possible. You guys, if you guys want to watch it, well, I'm going to say you guys should watch it right now, right away. Reason, I'll start while talking about episode 1. Now, episode 1 was what really got me hooked on the series, and it felt like a very much of mixture of Asterisk Academy, which was a series I really liked, and No Game No Life, which is another series that I really liked. So it kind of felt like you mix those two and then you get this. Basically, Shinohara, the main character, he comes to the Academy Island and the first episode, as he gets into some weird ass situation due to which he's been put into a game with Sarasa Sayanoji. That's how I guess I'll pronounce her name. I don't know the best pronunciation, but that's the way I guess that's she's pronounced. But anyways, she's the independent princess of the Oka Academy in a game, and he basically wins against her and gets a unique red star. Now this red star is a symbol of his newfound status, so he needs to make sure that he lies, because the red star basically gives him the authority to lie at least once. So basically, because of how the situation has ended up, Sayadaji is like a big, you could say, personality. Like, she's a daughter of the person who created the whole game or island or whatever that's called. And so he is now thrown into the situation where he has to basically lie that he's the Sun Star and he's the best on the island and there's nobody better than him. So that, well, shit doesn't go haywire. And, well, he becomes an arrogant asshole in the very first episode after he receives the star. Of course, in acting. In reality, he's just scared shitless because of that. So, yeah, that's a pretty good first episode, first impression for me. While there was a very cliche permanent moment, I think the episode does a good way to establish the two characters that are introduced, that is Sadaji and our main character Shinohara. Both of them are like pretty good in their own aspects, and I really enjoyed the whole gaming aspect of the episode, especially because it was so out of context for this guy to win. It is pretty much like a situation where a lot of people will be turned off because the guy is just straight away lifted right on the top. Like, no challenges, nothing. Straight away, he's a 7-star, which is like the highest star ever. So, like, there will be some people who will be turned off by that and might not watch the anime, but which totally makes sense. I can totally understand where they come from. And, well, I'll just say that you should queue another 2 to 3 episodes, maybe even like up to 5 episodes, let's say. If you guys still don't enjoy it up to 5 episodes, I can understand this is not for you, but I think that's a good point. Up to that point, you can really like start getting into the nitty-gritty stuff of this anime. I'll talk about episode 2 next, which is another episode that was kind of cliche, but really, really well executed. Episode 2 was pretty goddamn cliched in the sense that, it's very simple. Hiroto Shinohara. That's the main character's name. Hiroto is gonna win no matter what happens because, again, he's basically supported by the academy, you could say. So he's gonna win no matter what. We know that, but it's a way that it was executed about how he's gonna win. Because another thing that happens, while he does cheat, he does use illegal method to win. And if somebody comes to know that he's using illegal methods to win, he's going to be expelled from the game island. So, and he doesn't want that because he has his own motives to be there. So in this episode we get this biker chick who is like, who challenges him to a race, and you get to know more rules about this. The rules are basically like, you can have 3 abilities, of course. We come to know about it in episode 1, but we don't see it applied well in episode 1. Because in episode 1, Sainaji is the only one who really applies abilities. So this 3 ability rule is basically you can choose any 3 abilities for according to your ranks. So that's something like really important in these aspects of games. So according to your ranks, like for example, now the chick that he's facing is like a 3-star, I believe. Was it 3-star or 2-star? I don't remember, but something like that. And then he has to pretend to be a 7-star, but in actuality he has 0 stars. Or I don't remember, 1 star? No, 0 stars. Yeah, the only 1 star he has is the red star, so that's technically 1 star, but there's the thing, like, he only has that, and he can only use abilities of 1-star people. And all the illegal abilities he gets is from this hacker that we get introduced to later. So, in this whole episode, they show us how the future of the anime is, like, how the future episodes will go on with what sort of, like, hack stuff can we expect, like illegal skills can we expect from this person. Of course, illegal in the sense that he's not the amount of stars, not in the sense that he's using skills that are not supposed to be used. But he's using skills that are supposed to be 7-star skills, but in actuality he's just a 1-star guy. So yeah, like, it's that kind of situation. And by the end of the episode, you realize that, well, that's that's all there is to this episode. Because they drag on that episode for a bit longer than expected, and it just, like, is a whole ass exposition episode, you could say. Of course, we also get introduced to the maid, but it's mostly that exposition episode where you come to know about the situation that Hiroto is in, or Shinohara as everybody calls him. But you come to know that this is the situation he is in, this is how it's gonna be for the upcoming future, and that's pretty cool. I like it. This episode also kind of at the end leaves us with a cliffhanger about who is Sainaji, and you come to know that Sainaji is not actually the daughter. It's just, okay, pretty cool. Pretty big cliffhanger, like, she's like a lookalike, not a daughter. But talking about episode 3. Episode 3 is another really good episode. I like this episode a lot because it's more or less a challenge episode. So, in this academy, there is one more rule that I didn't talk about yet. The rule is basically, this person can challenge another person as long as he's of the higher star. If the person is like a 7-star, that a 5-star can challenge him. because he has the more stars. It's so that these guys with low stars can gain stars by challenging the higher star people, of course. And the higher star people loses that certain star from their records, which is also pretty cool. So it's basically like you're playing a ranked game in what, League of Legends, Valorant or something, Dota or something, and you gain points, you lose points. It's basically that. It's again a whole ass game. Just think of about it as a competitive game or some shit like that. So yeah. Now, if I remember correctly, the maid's name is Shirayuki. Shirayuki has explained a bunch of stuff to Shinohara, of course, and Shinohara comes to know that Sayonagi is not actually Sayanagi's, like, the actual Sayonagi, the daughter of the person who made the island, who is one of the creators of the island, I guess, and he's completely shocked. He's like, I did all this, and that was not even the real daughter? Like, amazing. He's just shocked. He's completely shocked. And you got introduced to this fan club shit who like follows Sayonagi 24/7 like a stalker ass, and I'm like, oh, we got a creep, I see. And then Shinohara basically challenges this creep to a duel, basically. Now we come to know that this creep is a colored star. Yes, colored star. Basically, red star is one of the colored stars. That is the only star that Shinohara has. But Shinohara cannot gain normal stars. He can gain colored stars, which will make him a 2-star. If he gets the purple star, that is with this guy, who is also going to be relevant later on, this fan club guy. I'm going to call him fan club guy, so that it's easier for you guys to remember. But this fan club leader, the fan club guy, he is basically... I'm going to call him fan club leader, actually, because that makes sense. Fan club guy... What am I saying? English is a hard language. Fan club guy is actually... it feels like he's a very common NPC, but he's not. He's a fan club leader, and he is Sayanagi's fan club leader, if you guys don't know. And he wants to challenge Hirota to actually give him the red star that he owns of Sayanaji, so that he can prove that he's better than Shinohara, who defeated Sayanaji. Well, we have a battle on our hand in about 3 days. Shirayuki explains to Shinohara. There you go. Shirayuki explains stuff to Shinohara that this guy is, even though he's like a 4-star, 5-star, I think. I don't remember how many stars he had, but he had something like 4-star, 5 stars, and he had the purple star in one of those stars. So, he's got this ability to basically manipulate the whole game. Basically, he has a jammer ability. We don't know about it yet, but that is the power of the purple star, I believe, to jam signals and give the wrong signals to the other players in the game. So, yeah, they explain the abilities he might have, and Shinohara must have with him. So, like, that's all this episode is all about, and then next day starts, and we get into the next episode after this. This episode has a nothing burger, basically. It was a setup kind of episode for the next episode, because the next episode was pretty goddamn cool. Episode 3 feels like a nothing burger. There was just way too much exposition again, and there was nothing to be, like, really glazing over, I would say. And I was fine with that, honestly, because I was just like, oh, that's pretty cool, but nothing action-packed or anything here. Just a challenge received by Shinohara and exploration of abilities he should have and what abilities the opponent will have. And we move to the next day, which is episode 4 after this. Right, this is the episode that I really ended up loving the series. I adore the series, don't get me wrong. It's not the best, it's not the worst. It's right there where I would say it's very good, but not the masterpiece or great series. This is the episode there where it really changed my opinion of the series, because so far it was exposition upon exposition, and I'm pretty sure a lot of guys got bored of that. And I've seen the series rating is pretty low. Understandably so. Lot of exposition, less action, more exposition. God damn, I know a lot of people have a low attention span, and most probably that's the reason why when there's so much exposition in anime, or any series honestly, it kind of gets out of hand. And it's also like forced exposition, you could say. It's not natural. That's one of the things I felt throughout the series, where I was just like forced to like listen to this exposition that they're giving instead of like actually like naturally fitting in those explanations. Because yeah, that's something that they did throughout the whole series, and I was like, yeah, that come on, stop giving me the expositions. I just want it naturally. I know you guys want to make Shinohara like a really cool MC and everything, but just missing out on this natural feels, like how you naturally go through every process. I think one of the reasons that why a lot of people like rated this anime low is because of those expositions. Honestly. Anyways, moving on. What was I talking about? Yeah, episode 4. Fan club leader basically jams Shinohara's mobile, where he can like see all the cards that are gonna be out. Okay, then get into a game. I'll explain what the game is. Basically, they need to have cards, and by the end, whoever has the most cards, like number-wise, wins. Like, for example, there is number 20, and you have number 1, you will lose. But if you have let's say you have number 7 and the opponent has number 3, you win. So that's basically what the card game is like. So they do this, and I think this was an amazing episode to display how much Shinohara will have to struggle to really stay in this academy. Especially with the fact that there's a jammer, and this guy basically uses the jammer, and he can't find the other cards. He can only find like certain small numbered cards that are going to be useless to him. And on the other hand, this guy, he has his fan club who he's using. He has his own like software abilities where he can quickly like get to the other cards. Every 5 minutes there's a new card that comes on the map, and he snatches it from Shinohara. On the other hand, Shinohara, he gets only 3 cards out of this, and that too, struggle was real for him, because he almost like died. I'm not even joking. He tried to get a card from off a construction site, on top of a construction site, and falls into a, I don't know, sack of bricks. I don't know what the hell that was, but he has a great fall, and he's bleeding and shit. I was like, whoa, that escalated quickly. What the hell happened here? And then Sadaji finds him, and she's like, it's fine, we need to get you to the hospital and stuff. And he's like, no, we have a much important stuff to do right now, and I'll do it. And that's actually pretty cool of him, because he is very focused on what he wants, while he does have his own motives to be focused for what he wants. And well, you don't know yet what the motives are. So he goes in, gets his shit bandaged, and gets back to the arena. Now this one was very fast-paced, rushed, and I felt like there was no like, you could say, natural flow to it, where once you see this guy is on like a bunch of bags bleeding, next second you see him bandaged on the stage against his opponent. No natural flow, no natural things, and the explanation was also like way forced. That's what I felt in this episode. I don't know. It was good, but well, it was forced as well. That's what I felt like. While this guy does win, and I won't spoil how he wins, because I spoiled a lot of things. He does have. I know, this feels very forced. That's what it feels, because he gets a Deus Ex Machina basically to win, and we see this theme happening a lot, except for the Akizuka, what was her name? Akizuki, that chick. Except for that chick, I don't know anyone else who's like, like actually had a natural flow with the main character and how like things went through with that. Because even in the final arc, it felt, well, not the final arc, but the final arc of the season, it felt like it was way too convenient for the main character. Everything was just way too convenient. I was just like, yeah, definitely, that's exactly what I wanted. What the Let's talk about the next episode, though. Alright, let's talk about episode 5. Episode 5 was something else. I believe this was the episode with the whole Shirayuki stuff. Basically, Shirayuki gets kidnapped, and, well, our main character, it's basically a campus all-out elimination battle, basically, you could say, and, Shirayuki, I believe, gets, challenges the main character so that, nobody else could, and she gets kidnapped. That is the gist of the episode. We will get into the nitty-gritty of the episode, but that is the basic gist of the episode. And, well, we move on to the next episode because literally that's all that happens. After she gets kidnapped and stuff, we see that, what's his face? Shinohara is worried and stuff, and she says, "Don't win the game." Very simple words. And I'm continuing on with the next episode without saying much about this episode because, well, yeah, it's nothing major that happens. Just she gets kidnapped and there's an all-out elimination campus battle for like an all inter-academy battle. So that happens, and then we get this. We get another genius joining in with Shinohara. That is Synergy. Synergy basically shows Shinohara like how to defeat Shirayuki and everything, and he's very concerned because Shirayuki said, "Don't win this game." Like, why would she say that? And so Shinohara basically fights with Shirayuki while Akizuki watches them. Now it's a card game where basically it's like playing Hearthstone. So now he's basically playing Hearthstone with her, and there are like specific, except for here there are only 2 sets of pack. There's an A and B set. There's no other sets. That's just it. So you can get either one, and I believe A is the good set, B is the bad set. So what Shirayuki does is basically use one of her abilities and gets like 5 cards early on, and Shinohara is so confused, like what's her plan and everything. And the battle drags on and everything, and it ends up in a draw. I'm not gonna spoil how it ends up in a draw, but it ends up in a draw because I think the game is pretty goddamn entertaining for this one. It ends up in a draw, and well, it turns out that Akizuki has installed a bug on Shirayuki's phone, and if she lost that game, then if she won that game, if she lost the game, and Shinohara won the game, Shinohara would have gotten that bug on his phone. So yeah, that's kind of what happens. Now what happens after that is Akizuki straight up challenges Shinohara, and we move on to the next episode. I know things are getting too fast and everything, but most of the stuff is just exposition and games, so I'm gonna move on to the next episode, where actually I was like, this was the best episode in the series so far. It was far beyond amazing, and I think this was peak for Liar's episodes. This episode was amazing, honestly, like great episode. 10 out of 10 if I say so myself. Oh, I loved it. It was what made me say that this is a good anime, basically. In this episode, Akizuki basically challenges Shinohara for a game, which is basically guess the room. There are, I believe, 6 classrooms per floor, and you have to keep a treasure in one of the classrooms, which is Shirayuki, and another one is Sainuji. So Sainuji and Shirayuki both are treasures. Shirayuki from Akizuki's side, and Sainuji from Shinohara's side. Both of them are treasures. Shinohara is keeping Sainuji in the certain room and making sure that she doesn't get caught, and same goes with Akizuki. Now, Akizuki it's already a bad situation, because if Shinohara loses, he has to give up the star, the lying star. So they'll know that he's a nobody. And if he wins, well, there's a bug that Akizuki has installed. And she'll know everything about Shinohara That's gonna happen. And a draw is not an option because drawing basically would be it basically means just she's gonna expose shit. So yeah, it's there is no option he has. He has to find a third way out. Well, I did love the third way out. I thought it was Deus Ex Machina again. That again, this whole anime is Deus Ex Machina in it. Anyways, moving on. Like they ask each other questions. They can ask 3 questions, I believe, at max in the same round, and with each question, they have to say yes or no. So if somebody asks, is the person in 3K of classroom 3K? And if he says yes, that means he's not lying. You can't lie in this battle. You have to tell the truth. And throughout this battle, it's pretty tense. You get that tension feel because everything at stake here, and he can't do anything. It's like a loss-loss situation, like unlike a win-win situation where everything would be great for him. And certain situation, this is a loss-loss one, where nothing would be great for him when this happens. So the match proceeds, and our main character is detecting everything pretty goddamn well. But Akizuki basically uses an ability that sends Shirayuki back to a position where she was previously. She also uses an ability which hides her positioning, and I believe she uses an illegal ability as well where she changes. Well, of course Shinohara wins, but she uses the ability where she changes the winner. It's an illegal ability, and well, that was all Shinohara needed, because what he does is switch his own side with Shirayuki, and he uses this card which basically means player exchange. Means instead of Shinohara, it's Shirayuki playing. So now Shirayuki has lost the battle, Akizuki has won the battle, and the puck is transferred back to Akizuki's thing, mobile, I guess. I'll just call it mobile. I don't know what else I can call it, but a device. There we go. That's another thing I gotta call it, and that's pretty cool in my opinion. That's a pretty cool episode. It's the best episode so far. And Akizuki basically the exposition of why she does and how there's this Academy 12 director who is like a big a-hole and everything, and she just cannot believe that Shinohara is a 7-star and everything. And I can see where she came from, because she was the best upcoming star until Shinohara came along and stole the thunder. She was supposed to give a speech instead of Shinohara that day, on first day when he arrived for the coronation ceremony. And that made her have a grudge against Shinohara and everything he did. And honestly, that was pretty goddamn cool in my opinion, and a pretty satisfying end to the arc. And honestly, that's all that was needed, because all in all, it was a pretty good arc and a pretty goddamn good conclusion to the arc. Now the next arc is kinda gonna get crazy, and I'm not gonna explain that in episode. I'm just gonna explain it in one go. So yeah, this one was it had the goods, but it also had a lot of bads as well. This is where my interest went from very good to good, maybe from an 8 to 7. I think so. That was what I felt like. This was the arc that took me off from an 8 to 7, because up until that point, I was like, this is an 8 out of 10 anime. But now it went down 7 out of 10. So yeah, let's talk about the final arc of the season. Final arc of the season was this big inter-academy battle that was taking place. It was called Astral. Obviously, you had Shinohara, you have Akizuki, you have the 6 stars, 2 6 stars of the academy, who are big shots. I think so, and one of them is named Nohara, and the other one I don't remember. Enji, I don't know, something like that. But yeah, the 2 6 stars, a male and female 6 stars, Shinohara, Shirayuki, and Akizuki. Those are the guys who are the winners of the elimination all-campus elimination battle. And the winner was technically Akizuki, because Shinohara gave up that position. And yeah, so those 5 are going to take place in Astral. Now in Astral there are 5 roles. There is the mage, the commander, the
warrior, the assassin, the mage, the commander, warrior, assassin, support. I believe those were the 5 roles. Now, each role has some kind of speciality about them. The commander has unlimited movement points, and that's what Shinohara is eyeing for. But the other dude, who's a 6-star, he doesn't want Shinohara to take commander because he doesn't believe that Shinohara will make great commander, and he wants to win this academic battle. And Shinohara says like, no, I'm better commander, but if I can't win I can't get the at least three schools eliminated within 3 days. I'll give you my position, or within a day. I don't remember what it was, but it was like 2 days, 3 days, something like that. I think it was 2 days because they didn't do it first day. So yeah. Anyways, that's what he said, and it's like fine. But if you do eliminate, yeah, sure, you can have a commander position, and I'll listen to whatever you say. So that was the deal they had, and basically there's also another threat now that Sainaji has. An imposter who's who looks like Sainaji, and she challenges Sainaji to imposter. Sainaji challenges normal Sainaji to a battle, and whoever battles gets to challenge Shinohara, I believe. I think that was the condition. Anyways, let's move on to the battle now. The actual battle goes well. Started for the first day. The first day gets in a really good position with them eliminating one of the classes, and the reason, but there's still a dispute, and the reason for the dispute was that the other female 6-star that they had, she basically tried to attack this classroom or try to make alliances with them, and they knocked out the classroom, but the 6-star male was really unhappy with what the 6-star female was trying to do, and so, well, they start infighting, and that separates them, and Shinohara is like, amazing, I have to deal with this shit, and he's like, did I do anything wrong? The 6-star male asks Shinohara, and Shinohara is like, no, but the way you handled this is really bad. Totally feel you, bro. Anyways, that's what happens in the first day. They also come to know that the imposter is basically you could say a boss of this whole thing, because the imposter can be anybody and can wreck anybody. So, as the tutorial progresses, we come to know that the imposter is taking over all the other classrooms, I meant to say classes that are participating, other academies that are participating, and I'm just like, what? What is happening? Why is this happening? And Shinohara is also the same, actually. And then he meets a little kid, a middle schooler, or a grade schooler, I don't remember what she is, but yeah, he meets her, and he basically treats her like a little sister and everything, and like comforts her and everything. And then he comes to know she is the imposter, and so he starts to like form his own alliance with the remaining guys of the academy who are not in the alliance with the imposters. So now the imposters, Sainaji and the Sainaji we know are fighting. Shinohara joins us as well. And Shinohara says that, well, you have to battle me, and you have to battle me fairly. Oh yeah, before that he eliminates himself, which is pretty cool actually, because we get this whole ass Pokemon scene where people are like playing Yu-Gi-Oh plus Pokemon, which I was like, oh wait, that's pretty cool. I like that actually. But yeah, like after that, Shinohara comes back and Shinohara like challenges both Sainaji and Imposter Sainaji to a battle of what is the game? I believe that's like a domination, I think so, that was the game. Basically, the rules are basically, you have a grid, and you have to establish a base on the grid, and whoever observes the base first wins, like observe the base of other enemies wins. So yeah, that was a pretty cool game as well. Like, I like the uniqueness of the games that they bring in. They bring in so many uniqueness in the games that they provide. I like that a lot. It's just a lot of the part of this anime, the execution just isn't right. A lot of things just feel very stiff and very not there kind of thing. There is something missing, like that small piece of evidence that this anime can really be an amazing one is missing, because there's like moments in this anime where you can see oh, that's pretty cool actually. I like that. Oh, that's pretty cool. I have never seen that before. Oh, that's a pretty cool game actually. That's well done. And I saw this in No Game No Life as well, but in No Game No Life it was executed pretty perfectly. There wasn't these moments where it felt like, oh, exposition time? Because there's such a natural flow in that anime. On the other hand, when it comes to Liar Liar, a lot of things feel unnatural and way too forced, and just because that's there. I don't mind Deus Ex Machina, I don't mind cliche stuff. I watched Black Clover for Christ's sake, which is cliche AF, and I love it. And there was a thing, like, even with cliche stuff, even with even with Deus Ex Machina and shit, there can be good executions about it. And there can also, like, be good explanations, good way to naturally fit in the explanation, and that is what Liar Liar is missing, the good way to fit in natural explanation, because there is this 5 to 10 minutes of exposition in your face, which doesn't feel right. It feels like they want us to sit and listen to you guys, these guys, like, talk about everything, and then all of a sudden you're in the game. All of a sudden you're like thrown in the game after that. It feels like, what if you're playing Dark Souls and then they just give you the controls and you're thrown in. Actually, that's what Dark Souls does. Why did I say Dark Souls? Something simpler. Something simpler. But yeah, like, it feels like you just did not progress through anything, honestly. Like 5 to 10 minutes of exposition, and then all of a sudden you're thrown into game. Like, what? Where's the natural flow? That's why I love the Akizuki arc, because Akizuki had a good setup. It went naturally. When the main character actually went up against Shiroyuki, it felt like, okay, they are going through some kind of plan, some kind of stuff. And when he fought Akizuki, there was like this no feeling of unnatural flow. That's what I loved about that whole arc, and that's why I thought that was the peak of this anime, because it was friggin' amazing. On the other hand, the final arc kind of felt stale for me. It wasn't bad, it was just stale. I love the games that it introduced us, especially the Pokemon section. I really love Pokemon, and so, like, seeing Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon together, just, like, it was a big turn on. So yeah, I loved it, but other than that, it just felt like a lot of this part was forced to just be there. I also felt like the characters they did not really develop much with our boy Shinohara. Like Shirayuki, Sayanaji, those guys develop well with Shinohara, because they have been with him since episode 1. They have been interacting with him since episode 1. Akizuki as well, like, she started developing, but then she also felt stale, because her development stopped as soon as the Astral arc started, like 2 episodes later. So, like, as soon as that arc started, Akizuki's development also felt stale, and she felt like a bimbo who's like following him all around, instead of feeling like a smart girl, you know, who's like there, like her name suggests little devil. But it did not feel like that. It felt more like, oh, she's just there to be a bimbo. That's about it. To like glaze all over like Shinohara or some shit like that. And that kind of like fell off. Like that fell off for me with her, because her whole character got destroyed. Like, she's supposed to be smart, she's supposed to understand the situation, she's supposed to trick the enemies into doing shit for her. So her whole character just falls apart after that whole arc. I know she wants to be a better person and everything, but come on. That's your personality. You can be a better person with keeping the personality, and we have seen that time to time again in a lot of anime, where keeping a certain personality of a villain still makes him a good hero. Like, you've seen that happen with a bunch of people. Like, for example, let's just say someone like Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z, who is very prideful, and we have seen, like, over time he has gotten the most character development in that whole series. So, like, yeah, like, we have seen partly over and over again that some of the villains can have the same personality and still like be good guys. I don't understand why they have to like do 180 on her character. She's not like, it doesn't feel natural, right? On the other hand, yeah, everything else was it was good. the anime itself was good. I think the main character was the best part of the anime. I definitely think the main character was friggin' amazing throughout the whole anime, and I liked him a lot. On the other hand, what I felt about other characters, I think Shirayuki was the best girl in the anime, no doubt on that for me. And yeah, I felt like those two characters were my favorite characters throughout the whole anime because, again, I saw them most of the time on the screen. Oh, the hacker chick. There was no development in the hacker chick. She was just going to be there. That's it. So yeah, there's just that's just it. That's just it. There's nothing else on this anime. I loved it. It was a 7 out of 10, a solid 7 out of 10 for me. I think it's a good anime to watch if you're interested in watching different type of games. That's just it. And you can sit through a lot of exposition. If you can sit through a lot of exposition, good luck, you're on for this anime. But if you can't sit through a lot of exposition and you need like, oh, we need to have an action-packed shit happening, some kind of action happening on the screen, yeah, this anime is not for you. For me, it was a solid 7 out of 10, all over. Anyways, I'll cover some other anime next time. Not sure which one. I'm not gonna promise anything. I said Moonlit Fantasy, and I'm holding back on Moonlit Fantasy right now because I'm watching season 2 of it. Yeah. I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, peace out, boys.